Hello and welcome to my channel, You Are the One, where we talk all things law of assumption. And today we are talking about how to get yourself out of a negative thought spiral. And I'm going to share with you exactly what I do to stop myself from those negative thought spirals. We all get into them, we're all human. And I want to share with you what I do, and it is super simple. So stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie. I'm a qualified life coach, I'm an author, and I'm super passionate about the amazing teachings of the law of assumption as originally taught by the great American mystic Neville Goddard. It is the stories that we tell that create our reality. So if you want to change any part of your reality, you have to start by changing the story first. And if you want to create the most amazing reality, then it helps to know how to tell the most amazing stories, and that's where these teachings can really help. And that is why I am here. I want to help you to tell the best stories that you can possibly imagine. If you would like support with this, I am available for coaching. I have personal coaching, online coaching, and I also have a free 21-day Set Yourself Up with the Ultimate Self-Concept course, which is the ultimate story you want to be telling. All of the details for that are in the box below, and I think that's it. Let's get into it. Okay, so today we are talking about how to get yourself out of a negative loop, like a negative thinking loop or a negative thought spiral, where without even realizing it, you've just played out a scenario of what it is that you don't want, and you've done it really unconsciously. And the game here is to become conscious of the unconscious, to become more conscious of what we are not aware of more of the time. We're not going to get it right all the time. We are not perfect. We are human. Well, we are perfect at our core, and that's part of the awakening game, is to awaken to our perfection and the perfection in everything and everyone. However, in the meantime, while that process is, happening, not a 24-hour thing, it's, everything I say, I can then counter it with the law of assumption. I find myself saying these things and going, well, actually, there is no time and space in consciousness. So yes, you could actually have an instant awakening right now. So when we are doing something unconsciously, so the more unconscious we are, the less control we have over what we're manifesting and what we're bringing into our reality. Because remember, consciousness is the one and only reality. Reality is simply the reflection of consciousness. Reality is simply reflecting back what we are doing in our own consciousness, meaning subconscious, I should preface that, most of the time. It is the subconscious that is like the movie projector. So whatever stories and assumptions are being held in the subconscious, that is what's going to get pushed out and reflected back in physical form. It's super simple. So we want to be really conscious of what our reality is reflecting back to us, because that will show us what's going on in our subconscious. So the more conscious we can become, then the more dominion we have over what we are doing with consciousness. We're all human. So what can happen is we get lost down a negative loop. We start thinking about things that we don't want, or we get caught in a memory, maybe something, we see somebody that looks like an ex, and then that triggers like a whole memory. That actually happened to me recently. That's right, yesterday I saw somebody who reminded me of my ex, and in fact I thought it was him. It just brought up all this ickiness and these icky feelings, and in fact I realized that I had to do some more revision, because the old memory, not the revised memory, was quick to come up. So I realized that actually I need to continue to do a bit more revision about that. Really, those memories, if they're not there, then they don't come up. But of course it did. And then before I knew it, I was just lost down this thought process of a memory of what was not favorable and was not pleasant, and what I certainly wouldn't want to be repeating. One of the techniques that I use to stop myself from a negative thought spiral or a negative thought loop is, once I catch myself in it, and I could be way into the story by this stage, it doesn't matter. As long as I catch myself in that thought loop, then I can stop it. And one of the things that I will do, and which I suggest that you can do, is I just immediately stop it and I say, delete, delete, delete 3 times. Because what that does, it informs my subconscious that is not something that I am wanting to create or manifest or bring back into my reality. This has happened to me quite a lot, and this is where I actually developed this little technique, is because I would start thinking about somebody and I hadn't seen or heard of them for years, and they would just pop into my mind. And this was not somebody that I really cared to be talking to. Every single time I would get a text or a phone call or an email from this person that just popped into my mind randomly, And then they'd be like, oh, I was just, you just popped into my mind and I thought I'd reach out and say hi. And I'd be like, oh God, like I totally created that. I totally brought them in. So what I do now is if I'm catching myself thinking about somebody that I don't necessarily want in my reality, they're not in my reality, and there's a reason for them not being in my reality, then I will quickly catch myself and say delete, delete, delete. And I've learned that that technique works. And the reason that I know it works is because when I am thinking of something or someone and I don't do that, then they come in or they show up or it shows up or my reality reflects it back in some way. If I catch myself in that thought loop and I quickly say stop, delete, 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 then it doesn't come in, they don't show up, they don't call, they don't text or whatever. Like it's kind of like a stopgap between my conscious and my subconscious. It means that it deletes from my subconscious because your subconscious is the movie projector. And when something is input in your subconscious, you have to be in a really relaxed state. So it's often in those times where you're just off kind of thinking about something and you're super relaxed, you're thinking about something that you don't necessarily want. It's super easy for that to just slip into the subconscious and then reality has to reflect it back. It's generally those times when we're driving or we're just walking along or we're not really doing anything, we're just off with the fairies. When your body is really relaxed and you just let your mind roam free, that's when things that you might not want can slip into your subconscious. So you want to catch yourself more and more in those moments where you're not thinking consciously. And a good question to ask to become more conscious is what am I doing with my thoughts now? Or where are my thoughts now? The more you can become conscious of what you're doing with your thoughts, then you have more dominion over them. It's not like every thought will get pushed out and reflected back in reality, but the ones that do slip into your subconscious will. And that will happen when you're in a super relaxed state. It's like when I created the parking ticket, and I'll link the video here. How I created that parking ticket was I was driving along thinking about how I hadn't had a parking ticket in so long. Did not catch myself in that thought narrative until the next day when the ticket showed up on my windscreen. I realized that I had a whole thought process about that ticket, and boom, there it is. And because I was so relaxed, that thought process just slipped into my subconscious and then my reality had to reflect it back. And that was within a 24-hour period. And often, I'll find if I'm thinking about somebody and I'm not aware of it, favorably or unfavorably, that person will reach out within 24, 48 hours, generally within 24 hours. Super powerful. You are so powerful. Your power is infinite. You are really creating your reality, and the more you become conscious of what you're doing with your thoughts and then watching your reality in terms of what it is reflecting back, you will start to see just how perfect reality is and what a perfect mirror and reflection reality is. So I really encourage you to start practicing asking yourself, where are my thoughts right now? And if you find yourself in a negative thought loop or a negative spiral, or you're just lost in a story of something that you don't want, catch yourself really gently. And then just say, delete, delete, delete. That will inform your subconscious that is not something that you want pushed out and reflected back. I hope that helps. And as always, please remember, you are the amazing creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you and assume the best for everyone in your movie too. And you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you. Thank you for listening. If you would like support with anything I have spoken about in this video, please contact me. You'll find those details below. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would love to have you, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.